Just an FYI, the sermon today is not addressing what's going to happen this coming Thursday. This coming Thursday, while some prepare the meal and others are distracted by the lions, this is not the time to talk about Mary and Martha, who's doing what, unless you need that, to, some ammo or something. But no, this is not about that. We're actually at the end of this little mini-series about trust. We are indeed, as Sam mentioned, living in some difficult times, and trusting is not easy right now. So how do we trust, in fact, trusting God, trusting our Creator during this time? How many of you have heard of a phrase? It's called the monkey trap. Have you ever heard of the monkey trap? A couple of hands, all right. Preaching to the choir here. You may have heard of the monkey trap. In the wild lands of South America, Africa, and Asia, it was discovered that when people place a gourd or something interesting inside a hollowed out space, drill a hole large enough for a hand, they can catch a monkey. Because when the monkey reaches through inquisitively, right, through that hole, finds the item, grabs a hold of it, they will not let go, right? They're trying to get it through the hole, effectively trapping themselves. The message really today is really about that. What does it mean for us to let go, right? To trust even when we can't see. We often refuse to let go. Situations, circumstances. We have a hard time trusting that God will indeed take care of us or these situations that we're in. And the more we hang on, the more frustrated we get trying to get that thing through the hole, whatever that is for you, whatever you're struggling with right now. If you've ever been a part of a recovery group or the recovery movement, you've heard the phrase, let go and let God, right? That takes practice. It can be a petty phrase, really, almost a cliche. But that phrase is a lifesaver if you practice it. So the Lord, as you read this situation, as you heard this today, He's in the house, and Jesus is there to gather and to have a meal, right? And Mary, one of the sisters, chooses to sit next to Jesus and be with Him, to listen, to soak in all she can to this great master, teacher, healer, prophet. And Martha is running around, you might imagine, in a kitchen or a community area, maybe outside, getting ready for the guest to come. Because there are things to do. There are indeed things to do. But while she's doing this, she's getting very upset with Mary. She's allowing herself to get this, urge inside of her which she can't not say something. Some of us have experienced this before, either the giving and the receiving of this. What are you doing, Mary? I need your help. I mean, whatever she says, she comes out in maybe a bit of a rage, if you will. We got things to do. Get in here. And Jesus calmly, peacefully, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and worried about many things, but there is need of only one thing right now. Mary has chosen the better part, and it will not be taken from her. I'm not sure how Martha felt when she heard that response, even coming from Jesus. But let's explore that today, because I think we can kind of misread this. First of all, how often are we like Martha? Maybe daily, worried and distracted by much. There is a lot to be concerned about. There are things that need to get done, right? So in this message, it's weird to say, well, what is Jesus saying here? Don't get stuff done? Because we do have to get stuff done. We have to go to work. We have to run errands. We've got to pay bills. We've got to rake the leaves, whatever it is. And the Marthas of the world see this and say, I'll get it done. I'll do it, right? And there really is nothing wrong with that. We do have to go to work, get things done, pay the bills, etc. But it seems that in this moment, in the short time that Jesus is physically present on earth, what he's saying is, hang out right here for a minute. Those other things will get done. They will get done. Mary is choosing to sit here with me in the few moments we have before maybe all the guests come, before the meal is served, a moment of quietness, a moment to soak it in and get the peace of Christ. So maybe Martha felt that conviction. I think in my humble interpretation here, when Jesus says, Martha, Martha, it's like, it's so loving. All that stuff it's going to be okay. Come over here and join Mary and I. Just for a few moments. Just for a few moments. But that's hard, isn't it? On a daily basis, even just for a few moments, to quiet ourselves and to take that second to appreciate life for what it is, to be prepared for what the day or the week or the month or the year is going to bring, to take that moment just to be with Christ, even just in our own hearts. Well, this morning, I've invited one of our longtime members, Mark Averill, to come up and to speak for a few minutes about his own journey of learning to trust. In the midst of our struggles in life, how do we trust? How do we find that balance? And so Mark's got a microphone on him. He's going to come up here for a few minutes. And
Just a few.
Why don't you welcome Mark, please?
No. Just a few. I'm not giving the message. It's pastor's going to be giving the message. But he asked me to give something about trust. And first of all, I'll get to it. I have to tell on myself to start the story. I've got two brothers, and we like to go out. And unfortunately, we all took up the game of golf. My dad had to kind of play golf, and so we kind of took it up. So we get together, we play golf, and inevitably we go to a restaurant or something like that. And so what we started, and I don't know where this came from, we'll ask the server, we'll say, could you tell us your story? Inevitably, they look at us like, oh, boy, what is going on here? I said, no, we just want the Cliff Notes version, 1 to 2 paragraphs. And, if they're kind of look like they'll do it, and, we'll do it, and we'll tell our story or whatever. And it's amazing. People nail it. I mean, some of them in a paragraph or two, they nail their life story, man. Bam, 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 bam. So it's a lot of fun. Now, how does that relate to this? Well, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version of what happened to me. I was diagnosed with cancer about 7 years ago, a little over 7 years ago. And I know there's people in this congregation that have been diagnosed too. And it really does rock your world. And so my journey through it, rather than getting into a lot of specifics, if you ever had that, there are all kinds of, I laugh now, but there are some moments that are just incredible. It's like, do we really have to do this? And your aunt doctor, if you want to live, we got to do this. And I have a beautiful aunt doc. She's wonderful. I'm blessed to have her. And she's still around. I've had her for 7 years as my doc, and she's very relaxed and still has a sense of humor, which is, as long as you do it, that sense of humor then sometimes goes away. But through all that, after you go through all the emotions, and you do, and whether you like it or not, unless you're really, really good at stuffing them back, when it was all said and done, what I was left with was how blessed I was. Here I had, diagnosed with cancer. On top of that, no cure. but lots of treatments. But when you hear the no cure thing, you're like, oh my gosh, can it get any worse? When you're in getting the, you have the appointment where they say, you got cancer, buddy. And my lovely wife was with me, and it was tough. Lovely wife Nancy, she's up there somewhere, I think. And so it's just one of those things. So you go through all these things, and that's what I was left with, because I trusted God through the whole thing. And it's just amazing what will show up. Different affirmations I would use, like one of my affirmations I would use is, everything's always working out for me. Let me tell you, there are times you're kind of wondering. So that's kind of what my journey was. And, it's really interesting when I say that. It was just, we were sitting around, my brother rented a place. He's done pretty well in life out in Breckenridge like a year later. And we were sitting around talking. We kind of do acknowledgments when we get together. And, that's just what I was left with. I've lived a blessed life. And there's no other way to put it. And it's just because of my trust in God. And then because the whole thing about giving, we're in the stewardship program and all that, what you are left with is moving forward. So I told you my past, told you my story, and then you're left with, okay, now what? So it's all about moving forward. And I think cancer patients probably would affirm what I'm saying. It's all about moving forward in life. What happened in the past, that's great, but it's about moving forward. And really that's what times like now we're deciding, okay, what is this church going to do moving forward? Is there anything that the people in the congregation would like to see this church do? It's all possible. It's all about moving forward. We do a lot of great things, but that's stuff that's kind of in our past. And the amazing thing about churches, and I kind of felt this deep, every once in a while, as you get older, you kind of feel these things and I think it was when I was finance chair, you drive around, you see all these churches, and they're all here by donations. You see these beautiful structures, congregations, and pretty much I think most it's there by people putting money into what they want their ministries to be, whatever. Everybody has a different story, so to say. So it just really dawned on me, wow, this is really incredible. Do people have that kind of faith, to put money into the ministries? And it involves a lot of trust. And I went to a seminar one time, and what one guy said was, the one thing about trust is it's going to get broken. And you can look into your life at all the times you've trusted people in general, because we all fall short of the glory. And, it's just going to happen. What do? Is you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and you have to just keep trusting. Just like with cancer treatment or whatever you do in life, you have to trust. And with the church, you have to trust, that the ministries that we do are valid, and I think they are. And who knows what the future holds. It's all about moving forward. I'm sure Adam would totally agree with that. And Sam, it's all about, can we trust ourselves to hear what God's telling us that we'd like to see, and then maybe see it expressed through the community of faith that we have here. And that's pretty much it. Thanks. Thank you.
Amen. It's always great to hear from the people in the pews, as we say. What is God doing in your life right now? How has God spoken to you in the past? This story that we were hearing today about Mary and Martha is really, again, the core of it is that trust. That Mary took that moment to say, I'm going to trust myself in God's hands. There is stuff to be done. There are needs to be met. But right now, my trust is, Jesus, I want to be with you, and then we'll take care of that stuff together. And Martha, who wants to do good, is also wanting to serve God. All right, let's not diminish that. But sometimes we start there, and as we see, we get burned out if we start there as opposed to starting with God first. Those feelings, that anger, that jealousy that comes up, sometimes it's because we haven't spent time like Mary at the feet of Jesus. Looking at this story, which is a well-known one of the things that I learned this week was, again, to take it in context. Where is this story happening in the Gospel of Luke? Right before this story is the story of the Good Samaritan. You know, the one where someone is attacked on a road and needs help and is laying there. And some people walk by and just kind of look, whoa, I'm going to stay away from that trouble. But finally someone stops to help, and that is the Good Samaritan, right? So the story that Jesus is coming, as the story is being told, Jesus is on his final journey as he's heading towards the cross. So it seems that these stories that are happening, that we read in Luke at this juncture, seem to be about putting our faith into action. But where does that start? That starts with, who is God to you? What kind of relationship do you have? Is it a trusting one? To the point where if you have those moments with God, you might be the one who is going to stop to help someone because you've had that moment of peace with Jesus, and now you're going to take that moment to help someone by the side of the road. Now when we come to Mary and Martha, again, there's going to be a party. Maybe you have the gift of hospitality. Maybe you're a great hostess like Martha. Maybe you want to get everything ready. But first, let's spend a quiet moment with God. And guess what follows this story? The Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer. Again, an example of saying, start with God. One of my favorite authors over the recent years is a man named Shane Claiborne. Shane is known as a peace activist and a founder of what's called the Simple Way. He's got a community in Philadelphia, and they work in their neighborhoods just doing the work of Christ in very basic ways. But he tells a story about when he was in college and he was getting this passion. He wanted to serve God. He wanted to make a difference. And so what did he do? He packed up and moved over to India to be with Mother Teresa. He wanted to go to one of the main sources at the time of what does it mean to live out and follow the gospel. Right? He had this feeling inside of him of this passion of, I want to do something, so I'm going to go learn from one of the best. And he was ready to go out on the streets and to do practical things for people. So he gets there, unpacks, gets to know some people. Maybe it's Monday morning, he gets up, he goes to Mother Teresa, okay, what's going on? What are we doing today? And she's like, today I want you to go in there and pray. And he's like, what? Okay. I'm here to learn. I will go and pray. He figures, tomorrow. Gets up the next day. What are we doing today? I'd like you, again, to go and pray in the temple. But just please go and pray. Go do some meditating, do some reading, take the time to be with God. All right, there he goes. And the next day, this goes on for 2 weeks. At this point, he's thinking, am I being rejected for what I want to do? I came here to make a difference. And he finally goes to Mother Teresa with his anger. And finally, she says to him, if you don't open yourself up to God's presence and meditate and get that peace, there is a broken world out there. How will you hear what you're supposed to do if you're not spending time with God? The energy will come from God. I'm glad you're passionate, she said. I'm glad you're excited. I'm glad you moved all the way over here to learn. I'm teaching you. This is where it begins. Long story short, he finally got to go out and do some things in the streets with Mother Teresa. But lesson learned, right? Sometimes we're ready to go, do. But God's like, slow down. Take a minute. Take a breath. Breathe in the Holy Spirit. Because maybe there's a problem you're concerned about. Maybe there's a meeting that's coming up you're worried about. Maybe there's some things going on in other people's lives that you love and that you're worried about. And you're ready to fix. Right? That's one of my big problems. I want to fix it right now. And the quick conviction of, be quiet, Adam, is the one I hear most often. Give it a minute, Adam. Give it a minute. Give me a minute. There's a story, an old story, maybe you've heard this one, it's worth retelling. A man slips off the side of a hike, right? And he slips down to an edge, thankfully. He's holding onto the branches, standing, half his feet are dangling. He yells, "Is there anybody up there?" "Yes." "Who are you?" "I'm God, and I'm here to save you." "Wonderful, wonderful. What should I do?" "Let go of that branch." "Is anybody else up there?" The branch could be anything that we're having a hard time letting go of. We're at the end of what we're calling our trust stewardship campaign. One of the biggest problems that many of us face has a lot to do with money, our philosophy of money, our use, our misuse, our fear around money. Trusting God in this subject is one of those ones that we're like that monkey in the box. We're not going to let go because we need money to survive. We need money to buy things. We want to do good with money. We want to trust God. Some of you who might be here for the first time can't believe that you're here on a Stewardship Sunday and we're talking about money. Because that's all the church talks about. The good news, as Mark was talking about, the church wouldn't be here without people's gifts. A lot of people have been trusting this church for over 175 years. This is our third facility in this lovely area called Ann Arbor. It's all based on faith. It's all based on people's giving, trusting God above all else in their life. When it comes to this type of thing, this series, I was very hesitant to do this series. We always do it in November, but I was like, this is a tough time, God. We can't talk about money right now. Our country, we're struggling. Inflation, people are struggling. God always reminds me, it's not about how much people give. We're not asking people to become destitute. It's just whatever their heart leads them to give, week by week, day by day. There's a wonderful story in here about the widow who just puts in all that she has, which is maybe pennies, into the offering plate, and people may judge and say, it's a bag of pennies. Good for you. God sees the heart. God is not looking at the amount that we give. God is looking at our decision to trust in what God is doing in our midst. This church has been doing some amazing things. I'm blessed to be a pastor of a church like this. Alpha House this week, we had an amazing time where we're opening a new center over at Trinity Healthcare. 30 beds, or 30 rooms. Some of those rooms can have 4 beds in them. This week we dedicated a house for Habitat for Humanity. People right here in this room went and physically worked on that house, built that house. Now there's a mother and 2 children in that house. We had a party on Thursday night there. There are good things happening here at Westside. When we ask folks to fill out this card, it's in the pews if you didn't get one in the mail, we're asking folks to say, come on, join us on this ride. It's an amazing ride, and when you learn to trust like this, God shows up in big ways. But it's that little moment, like Mary and then Martha, hanging out with the Lord to say, I just need you first. You first. Help me be this better person that I want to be. I want to make a difference. I trust what you want from me. This is not out of guilt. This is not out of shame. I just want to partner with you, God, in what you're doing in this world. I want to be who you've created me to be, who you've called me to be. I want to be a light in this place that's struggling right now. I want my identity to be in you first. Amen.